DBMS. DBMS is a database management system. So it is also in a, gate exam. So we need to study as well. Okay. So why the DBMS is in gate exam? It is a important question because anything is in any competitive exams. It means something is relevant in their in the things. Okay, so in gate exams, so it is after the gate exams we maybe go some MTech, and so the MTech is means the technology. Technologies are which is worked on real world scenarios in companies or yeah, in real world data. Almost everything is in have data, so storing those data is needs to a database, and those database is to arranging or fetching the information with a fast and accurate manner. So we need to some kind of tools which is enables them easily. So that's why we need to the DBMS. And in DBMS we have because important for actually real world. If you are we going to the machine learning software developer or data analyst, and any kind of things where analysis or yeah, related to data work, there was role in a DBMS. Some kind of everywhere is need to the DBMS. So now we further move on. What is the need? What is the subjects we are learning in the DBMS for the gate syllabus? According to the gate syllabus, first thing is ER diagram, ER models, which is which is it is not exactly the DBMS, but it is way to how to structure some basic thing you must be know about that. ER. What is means of ER? E means the entity. Entity is the real words. So how we real words things comes in a in database table. Right now we are in DBMS or yeah, in a gate syllabus we are relational databases. So how relational databases these entities how to represent these relational databases, it is to a model or yeah it say that. So those model is called first is a ER model. We have a different kinds of model, but in initial or the basic model which is ER model. Here we know to the basic components. First, we need to learn basic components. Basic components means like entity, what is entity, what is attributes, what is relationship, and what is primary key. These things are we should we learn. Okay, and the how to represent as well. And then we need to the types of attributes. Uh, Suppose what is first thing is what is the attribute? Attribute is a nothing but it is a characteristics of those entity. So these things we should be know about that, and different kind of attributes in the ER model. So we know everything and how where it is used. And in any big project where we start the making things, entity relationship diagram is a very key very important diagram in the software engineering, where we gathering the informations from the user client and to communicate with the different users stakeholders. It is a clear picture what we want to build. Okay, and then the relationship, we also learn the relationship in relationship types. And first thing, what is relationship? Basic understanding. Then there are types because one like one to one or one to many or many to many. Okay. So these relation also we need to understand because every entity have a same kind of relationship. That is not important. Suppose if you are giving the examples of entity, it means that student learn teachers teach the student. So this is a is a relationship, and entity is a teacher and student. So those are a entity, and and relation is a teach. So relation is also a different. So we know understand the relation. Then participation constraint. Participation constraints. Participation constraints means like total or partial. Total and partial. Total means the entity. Suppose we taking example of student and teachers, and teach is the relationship. So the how much they participate, if every entity, every student are teach, every teachers teach, yeah, student teach, these kinds of participation constraint, मतलब how many how many things or entities, objects of the entities can participate in the relationship, how much, how many, these things. And then weak entity is a some kind of question, what is a weak entity and how to represent it and why we need to weak entity. These things also are need to the weak entity, and it is mostly two types questions, how to identify the entity. It means how to use the symbols to identify the entity, and some small points. So is to relationship, like. And after that, one most important in ER, to relational mapping. uh, Relational mapping, these things means, first thing, entity relation is a kind of a map, or where we make a entity diagram. And how to actual relational models, relational models, how to map to map, like which things and how entity represents in relational tables, how attributes are represent in relational tables. So these things, relations and one to one relation, how to represent these, everything is a mapping, ER2 mapping. So it is a basic, it is a syllabus, or yeah, but we need to the study in ER diagram, ER models actually. ER diagram is created by the ER models. Okay. Now, second syllabus, it's a relational model. Suppose we are saying the relational models. So we second thing, relational models. And then what is the relational model? Sub relational models is means that it is a table form where row and columns, the data is stored in row and columns forms. It is a basic, because we need to first basic thing, like attribute, degree of cardinality, and degree and cardinality, and attributes, tuples, and so on. These things are we need to study for everything. Okay. And then here is the most important and most question asked in this topic is keys. Keys is a very important topic, like super key and candidate key, and then primary key and foreign key. These keys are almost questions arise, because it direct or indirect, because it is a basic concept in the database models, because and we know that what is the super keys, and the what is the condition to be a super key, and what is the candidate key, as a what is the conditions to be a candidate key. Same a foreign key, what is the use of foreign key, where we use foreign keys, and what is primary key, and how why it is called always not null. And these questions and these things are always asked in the relational models. Okay. Third is relational algebra. Relational algebra is kind of a way to mathematical way, or yeah, things to represent. Here some kind of difference between SQL or a relational model and relational algebra. We talk in between the syllabus, but mostly the relational algebra is the third topic, where we learn the first basic, and with some key properties, because it have a key properties, like it always a not null, or something. These have a too many properties, cardinalities property, or the different thing properties. And we need to summarize form where to remember, or then we explain the everything's why it is happening. And these things. And second is operations. Operations is a very important term, because operation has a rename operator. We operations area operators, sorry, operators. Operators means which do the some operations, but as we are operators. First, rename operator, you- mm, uh, phi operators, union operator, and set difference, intersection, and rename these kind of things. And second is Cartesian product and Cartesian product. And this is not a exactly separate topic, but we should explain the first what is a Cartesian product, why we should do Cartesian product, and where and what's the main logic behind it. Because if we are understanding and basic things, basic build up of what is the Cartesian product, then it is easily to solve the next upcoming or easy things to visualize the things to how they gone on it. So now third is fourth, sorry, fourth is derived operators. Derived operators is means, listen, operators are first thing, these some kind of operators which are naturally are present, and then we are derived operator. Derived operators means here two combinations of the basic operators to become a derived operators. It's the basic meaning of derived operators, like inner and outer joins. Outer joins. So inner and outer joins are a most important topic which is used in real world as well, because it is very useful. And so we should be first clear the basics, and it is easily to understand with the uh, basic things. Matlab, we in short, if we are understanding the basic things and basic concept behind it, the using of these operators in real world, it is some kind of easy with some practices. Not we need to remember, because we connect the every dots. And third is a division operator. Division operator, so it is a very important aspect, because here too many questions are asked in a gate exam, and also important because division operator have some special things where we used to do to find out one to one entity. It means not and one to one entity, it means every things, every suppose in one set of elements is always all are related to in second set of element. It means that suppose suppose is a b c elements, and here b c d also. So which elements are which elements are in relate to the every elements in this second set. Find out these kinds of questions is by the division operator. And then is a and then is query writing. Query writing is not exactly mentioned in the topic, but we are saying that some kind of query, entity to relation, relation expansion आ जाएंगे, relation expression आ जाएंगे, and we need to simple. We need to some given statement, and they ask to write the uh, which option is correct to write these problem in relational algebra. Or yeah, given too many operations, operations returns, and then they ask to which operation is correct to this actions. Too many things are come in that, but not too deep. Okay, now the fourth topic is the tuples relation. Tuples relational calculus. Okay, pulse calculus relation means we it is the some kind of not exactly advanced. It is the tuples. Tuples means every element. It is based on the not structure. It is based on the data. It is based on the data when we are applying on that. We need to some basics. Here is not too much questions. It is some kind of basic, not too much question, syntax, and some kind of base syntax and these things. Okay, here is not too much important according to the gate exam. Gate exam, it is mentioned, but in the PIQ there was not too much PIQs, and not too much hard questions where which is not uh, solved without with the practicing. It is if you know the basic idea of the tuples, it easily solved. Okay, and fifth is integrity constraint. Yes, it is important, and this point is also important for the real world as well. If you are going to the some in place job at or something, if you are have too good knowledge of integrity constraints, so you easily to manipulate your data and things to find out your data. So it is real world as well. So it is need to understand the basic functionality, basic need and these things, so we easily to solve these questions. And it is really questions are came from this first, what is the domain constraint and why it needs to that, and second is key constraint. What is the key constraints? We learn about the keys. So same constraint as here. Now, entity constraint, entity integrity. Here is the entity integrity. Was what is entity integrity? And fourth is referential integrity. Uh, in this chapter, we study first what is the integrity, second what is the constraint, then we understand the each of the each of type. And if we are have the good knowledge of these things, so we easily solve in too many questions. Okay, now come on second part. Now sixth, it is some not too much difficult, but it have a some long and practice well syllabus of dbms. Now we need to the practically sql. SQL is a very important language, and which is mostly used in mostly used in the real world as well, and the theoretical is a very important things. What we have to cover some basics, and some basics and key points which is important to remember that. Okay, and second, meanings of keywords. It is a very important to solve to something. If we are solve that, what is the meaning of keywords? This means like select. What is the meaning of select? And from, where, group by, having, order by, and distinct. What is the meaning of these words? And with, and then also a sequence. Sequence is mostly important because we have some confusion, right? Return situation, writing situation, writing, and execution, sequence, because we know that these are a SQL which is have a definite sequence of execution, but writing sequence as a different. So we should be remember these sequence, because it is helpful in very questions. It is a frequent ask topic. So if we know that the sequence which is helpful in real world as well, and get exams as well. And but it is not to exactly learn by heart it, but it with solving the too many questions, it remembering our idea to the thing. If we are learn directly, so it's easy and clear the things to remember and with practice. Okay, then the joins. Joins, inner join and your natural joins. Joins are a very important, which is connects to the and nested queries. Nested queries. We need to nested queries like in, exist, not exist. So these things we need to do understand, because it is a very basic things. Because if you are nested thing, it means that if you ask something, it needs to ask anything. So what is the meaning of in, what is the exist, what they give, and these things are a very important concept which is used in SQL. Then aggregations. Aggregations is a mathematical tools like count, sum, average, min, max. We should be know where we need to the count, where need to the sum, where need to the average. These things are, and how which sequence to get these things. So basic some basic idea, and then how to write them. It is a very important for aggregation. Okay, if we have command on these things, so it is easily to solve SQL questions which is appeared in the gate exams. But if you want to the more uh, deeper down on SQL, it is a very huge thing. Not a huge thing, but it has means a practice, and if you have a good command and that you learn more um, new technologies which is based on these things, so gives you a edge in the market as well. So but these things are a very clear and very basic thing. You know the picture. If you are saying nested query in, you not thinking about what the and it is a directly image in means these things are done by the in. So basic pictures you have to very clear, and so it is important. Then normalization is also a very important topic in the dbms. It is have also very frequent ask questions in a normalization. So what is first need to FDs is a what is the FD is the functional dependency and their attributes. What we need to study in FD, some first basic definition, trivial trivial FD, and non-trivial FD, and closure of attributes, and minimal cover. What is this thing? Okay, these things we need to understand, because FDs are a functional dependency. It means that something is depend on the something else. Suppose X here is a very important is X and Y. It means if we if we have to the x, then we reach to the y. These things are solved in normalization, and normalization is also important because if you, our data is too complicated, and so the fetching the data is very very taking time. So this is a very important, and know the basic know the good idea of that them. And then normal forms in the after the using the FDs, what we get that, so those called a normal forms. We have a more normal forms, but in the gate exams we have only four normal forms: first NF, first normal form; second NF; third NF; and BCNF. After that 5 NF and 6 NF is for not actually need to the gate exam, but we know about that basic idea if is it is. So but most important is the first NM, second NM, and how what is the basic, and what is the condition between condition to set that NF and 3 NF, 2 NF, and BCNM. And then lossless joins. What is the lossless joins? We have idea to that also. Okay, and axioms. Axioms is like some trivial rules which is followed by the things we know about that. After that is a file organization, and it is the very very important, not for the for only gate exam. If you are an engineer and to become a data analyst, machine learning, so we know about the how for, file are organized. Some basic things which is basic need to cover, like definitions, what is file organizations, types of file organization, needs of file organization, types of records, before types of record, what is records, and spend unspent, spend versus unspent. These things we know about that. And then the heap files organize heap file system, and sequential file system. What is sequential file system, which is important? Sequential files. Okay, and then index sequential files. And then then primary and secondary storage. Primary and secondary storage. Okay, these things we should know. And these are a basic thing. In indexing index also a b tree, and b tree, and this also are in index based file systems also. because it is dynamic index based file system. So initially we need we also learn about that. Okay. And now ninth topic what I thought that is indexing. Okay. Indexing, what is the index? Suppose we need to the basics of what is index. Okay. Basics. And then we need to primary indexing, secondary indexing, clustering. Okay, these things, these type of clustering. And then we need to learn static versus dynamic, multi level indexing. What is static and dynamic? What is these things? And then sparse versus dense. Because here is know that separately and connect to each other, so we have the clear pictures to what is happening in this any files organization of these things and how they work. That's why I separate these things. And B tree and B plus tree. It is very important, B and B plus tree, because not of the syllabus, because it is hugely is real world implementation of B plus plus in some algorithm, and it is also clearing the tree structures. So it is some kind of important topic to understand that both help to them. And fourth, and this last topic is huge but big, but it is very important to think about that. It is a transaction and concurrency. Okay, transaction and concurrency. So we need to why to need to transaction and concurrency in database. Why need to transaction and concurrency? Because transaction is about the one stage to the another stage, like sending the money from UPI. So here is also a database involved, but those transfer one account to another account is called a transaction between the data in the network is called a transaction. So it is very important to know the transactions work and what is concurrency things. Okay, some basic first thing is the asset property. We should about clear about what is the asset and what is asset properties, and why it is need, and these things is a basic note that. Okay, now second is the keywords. Keywords, it means that some keywords are used in like commit, commit and rollback and save points, save point. So these things are some other keywords also. So why we need to first understand the keyword? Because in too many questions, in too many thinking to remembering the concept, but the keywords is the commit and rollback and save point. Some confusion save points and commit. So these confusions are not in the questions. So first we need understand some basic some clear definitions, some clear understanding of these words. So we in few next topics we have clear picture to what we want to say. Okay, and now the state of transaction diagram. So because what is a state transaction diagram? Suppose we have in one state, suppose you thinking about same thing is happening. You go from one point to the another point, suppose Delhi to Ranikhet. Okay, then you have to some checkpoints to some area points, because from here to your house to somewhere. So first you go to the bus station or a metro station, yeah, anything. Okay, if you're cab booking, you can go to the cab. So after that, some stages come. First, he cross the Delhi borders, then it cross the UP borders, then it enter the Uttarakhand, then district border. Then something these are some uh, past the steps. Those steps is called a transaction, and in between the steps, some have things which is need to back, need to forward. So everything is the it is called a mention state transaction diagram. Then need to the concurrency. Okay, then we learn to the concurrency, like what is the definition, look, what definition we should be learn, and why need definitions, problems, what is the problems with concurrency, because concurrency, it is important aspects, as we know that, but it is how to what some kind of problems with also that, na. So we find out those problem solution in some things. So we know, clearly understand what the problems with the concurrency, and what is concurrency, and why need to the concurrency. These are basics, or if you know about the clear picture, so then we will be forward and easily understand the concepts. And a database is a very easy topic, easily solve the any questions, and good grab of the command. If we are shallowing study to concurrency, is that concurrency happen, these things are a problem, that it's never to get a benefit, and you always get on here and there, and answer will be always wrong if you are going to haziness in your concept. So clearly, then schedules. So we need to the schedules. Uh, what is need to the schedules? I mean, we should be schedules. What is definite schedules, transactions versus schedule, and these basic things, serial versus non-serial schedules. These things we must to learn it. Okay, and then we go to the conflict serializable, and view serializable. It is a part of the serializable, but in short, if we are taking these two, so it is very important to understand the what is the serializability, and then what is conflict, and these things. It is very important. And in conflict serializability, some test is a precedence graph. So we should be a precedence graph, know understand how to make a precedence graph. Those precedence graph is a similar in the OS, which is used in the resource allocation. Say some kind of things are similar. Okay, and recoverable. Now recoverable basics. Uh, Recoverable basics means, it means recoverable. When we called something as recoverable, not recoverable, if something is not permanently save or not change to the that point where we are not recover from it. Suppose if you are lose your whole money, so that is not recoverable. If you are some basic money to lose, and then you whole bunch of money, you can recover your losses. But if you are a bankrupt, then you're not recoverable easily. Okay, losses and bankrupt, these kind of differences are recoverable, which is recoverable and which is non-recoverable. In the banking system is a NPA. NPA is a non-recoverable assets. Then go to there. So these things are also understand the recoverable basics. And then types of recoverable, because different types of recoverable we have. So um, we read to each things. So these kinds of what kind of 3 to 4 types of uh, recoveries we have. To each recovery we need to learn. And then concurrency control technique, concurrency control techniques, and their types, because it has the too many types. So we understand where the concurrency control techniques and these things. It's like a way to control the concurrency, and things like optimist view of optimistic and pessimistic view thinking. Then what we the solve that. These are 2 to 3 4 types, 3 to 4 types, which is know about that how to, and think about that it is a real problem. And how if whenever you not connect to the dots, that is means you are just remembering it. So connect the dots. And then and locks is one of the methods. Now we need to the what is lock, and need key points of lock, why need to the locks, and what happens when lock are doing, and lock managers. These keywords and these concept we should we know. Then we move to the locking protocols. Locking protocols. Okay, locking protocols, it is like 2PL. and strict 2PL and rigorous 2PL, okay, and conservative 2PL. And these four types of 2PL we should be know. And something like what is the locking protocols. It is not, it is basic idea if you are saying phases of growing and shrinking. It what is the meaning of phases of growing and shrinking? It means just means that uh, some we learn about the things like some database objects or your things object we take to the writing probabilities. So it is right now not understanding because locking protocols, but when we are coming from these step by step, we are easily understand the recovery locking protocol. um, because we want to the debt free systems and easily accessible and recoverable system. That's why we are using the locking protocols. Okay, and this is the syllabus of dbms system which is asked in gate exam. So maybe it's changed, but right now this is a gate syllabus. And we need to each two topics, and after that we easily gain marks as in dbms. And